Hello and welcome to Down to Earth. I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week is about watering your lawn in winter and whether or not that's necessary. Well, it's a great question with lots of different angles. It really depends on winter rainfall, your soil type, lots of different things. If we're getting rainfall in the winter, obviously you wouldn't be watering your lawn. And if you have a heavier clay soil, that would be even less. Some winters we don't get a lot of rain, so you wouldn't need to water much at all. If we have a particularly dry fall or winter, you might want to water your lawn once a month or so. Your lawn is dormant in winter, but it is still alive and the roots are growing slightly, and it does need a little bit of water to come out in the spring nice and green for you. Our plant this week is soft-leaf yucca, Yucca recurvifolia. It's a great choice for xeric gardens that contain more desert-type plants because aesthetically it looks great next to those. But it is a native to the southeastern U.S., so it may also fit in well with more tropical-looking landscapes. It's native to Florida and west, almost to our area. It does have very low water requirements. It brings up a great point because in the literature you may see this plant listed as a shrub. So this brings up a great point about plants that are hard to classify in our normal horticultural way of describing plant types. It's definitely not a shrub in the way that many of us normally think of. It's like classifying something like a cactus. It's not a shrub, it's not a tree, it's really hard to classify. So when you see this plant listed as a shrub, you really do need to look at some pictures of it because in your mind it's probably going to look different than it is when you see a picture. When this plant is young, the growth is more bushy and stays close to the ground. But as it ages, it becomes more tree-like with an upright single trunk. It may develop what we call pups or plantlets at the base, and those may either be removed if you wish or left to form a more bushy, thicket-type growth of multiple plants. This wonderful plant does flower in the summer and has beautiful white pendulous flowers. These are typical of the Yucca genus. Flower stalks, perhaps several, will shoot up into the sky, towering at least 3 to 5 feet from the top of the plant. The natural pollinators for yuccas are bats, so this type of flower stalk gives them easier access to that nectar. It gets about 6 to 8 feet tall and typically only about 3 feet wide, but it may be wider, especially if you leave plantlets at the base and you allow it to grow and into a thicket. It's a very slow grower, so be patient with it. It's hardy to zone 6, but also very heat and drought tolerant. So once established, it really needs no supplemental irrigation except during its first year to get those roots going. Perhaps also, if we have extremely long dry spells, you might give it a little bit of water. It has gorgeous, long, narrow green foliage that kind of droops once it gets a little older. It is evergreen and it does need full sun and can only take very light shade. Great for us, it's listed as deer resistant, but as no plant is, it's not deer proof. To do in your garden this week, prepare your soil on your new beds and vegetable planting areas. As we always say for new beds, the best material to use is well-composted organic material. Blend that into your soil. Add 1 to 3 inches to the top and then blend it into the soil with either a spade or a shovel or something like that. Please visit klru.org/ctg to send us your question or a plant of the week from your garden.